Hello, everyone. We are on to the second message that came in on real life relationship. Kindly do subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Thank you so much. Okay, it reads I feel like we are living under the same roof and having sex. He doesn't include me in his future plans. We don't discuss anything. He's only with me because he feels sorry for hurting me and fearing that I will find a man who will treat me better. We fight most often, almost every time, because we don't understand our love language. The biggest issue in our relationship is a phone issue. Social media is a problem. We are always concluding things on our own that if we are busy on social media, it means we are entertaining people. I think if we can have our own house rule regarding phones, we will be the happiest. We will be the happiest. I think if we can have our own house rules regarding phones, we will be the happiest. We are always shifting blames. He doesn't have boundaries. He doesn't protect our relationship. His exes have access to him. And when I tell him how I feel, he says he doesn't see any problem. Our relationship is a secret. He doesn't love me out loud. He protects his ex-wife, sorry, more than me. When I tell him about reassurance, he tells me I have he tells me have I assured him his ex-wife and kids are his number one priority, but um he wants to build a home with me. What I want from him is to lead and I will reciprocate. He likes dismissing my feelings instead of correcting his actions. We are always talking at each other, not talking to each other. So talking at each other, not talking to each other. I want to sit down with him and engage, but it's difficult. We end up fighting when I'm having insecurities. Instead of replying to the insecurities, he shifts the blames. I love him, but I'm exhausted. The message is quite long, and let me read them in paragraphs so I can be able to give out the best advice. Okay, so this man from everything is someone who is married or has been married before, separated from the wife, and have this woman who is complaining now, and they're staying under the same roof, and she says they have sex, but he doesn't include her in his plans. And they don't discuss anything. They don't talk about finances, emotional well-being, spiritual, nothing. So they barely discuss anything that pertains to building a home. Now, if you think, if you say you are married to someone, what are the things that should be part of that marriage or be part of that home? It's about planning. You're planning together. Yeah, if it's absent, it's not a marriage. If you don't talk about finances, emotional well-being, spirituality, if you don't talk about anything, then you are just two sex partners under the same roof and going nowhere. It's as simple as that. Then she also said he is only with me because he feels sorry for hurting me and fearing that I will find a man who will treat me better. That sounds like the man is a narcissist. If you can hurt someone but don't want to let them go and you are with them and you're not making them happy either, it looks like he's a narcissist. He hurts her and he is keeping her around and he's not treating her better, but he's not willing to let her go for another man to love her. That's narcissistic. We fight almost every time because we don't understand our love language. The biggest issue in our relationship is the phone, social media. Okay, so you see that these people, they have barely nothing in common apart from the sex that they share. And I've had people in counseling, couples in counseling, that they live this kind of life. The marriage most often is founded on the wrong foundation. And so at the end of the day, they are barely just living under the same roof. They are not living as husband and wife. And all they share is, since they sleep on the same bed, they get to have sex. Since they don't talk about their love language, And then social media is a problem. I mean, almost everything is a problem in this marriage. I'm not saying that marriages have to be perfect, right? But you can't have all of these things in one marriage. It means that there's no time when there is happiness. Okay, so she mentioned social media and said, when you're on social media, it means you're entertaining others. Yeah, social media is a place where people get to entertain themselves. It's a place where people get educated. So if you're on social media, I don't think there's a problem, but it's just something that should be well communicated and boundaries put in place. Let's say maybe you don't want him or her being on social media at this hour of the night. I mean, it makes sense, right? So they should put boundaries there. He doesn't have boundaries, he doesn't protect our relationship. His exes have access to him. And when I tell him how I feel, he doesn't see any problem. Our relationship is a secret. He doesn't love me out loud. So again, here there are expectations that are not communicated. Now, the way you want to be loved is not the same way someone may want to love you. So you need to clearly communicate that. Having access in the picture again is a matter of boundaries not clearly spelled out. And she has expectations. She wants to be flaunted, loved out loud. Maybe she wants this guy to post her often on social media. She's so surely a social media kind of person, a social extrovert. But the husband maybe, I don't know if he's a husband or the boyfriend, but he should be the opposite. And so it also brings them problems. He protects his wife more than me. Now, this is something I have to say here. When you get married to someone or you are in a relationship with someone who is a divorcee, please, you need to accept that that person has been married before. And his life with that, um, be it his ex-wife or or her ex-husband, in whatever case, shouldn't come in. It shouldn't be a topic of discussion in your present marriage. Because I can look at it from this perspective, like she brings up the wife issues to test this guy because she mentioned reassurance somewhere that she wants to be reassured of his love. So maybe by doing that, she gets to bring up issues regarding the ex-wife. And to be honest with you, no man wants to sit down and talk about his ex with you unless he is, how should I call it? I don't know how I can put that, but no responsible man does that. Okay, so he protects his wife. So you cannot constantly bring up his wife in the picture, and that's the mother of his kids, and his kids are still with her. So what do you expect? Okay, you may want to avoid topics that concerns her. If you want to build your own marriage, concentrate on your own marriage. If at all there's a marriage, okay. Then his ex-wife and kids are his number one priority, but he claims he wants to build a home with me. That alone should tell you that he has not moved on. When you see what is someone's priority, that's where his heart is. If you said the kids alone, I would have understood. But if his wife is part of the picture, then there's an issue. So you may want to be clear with him if actually he has moved on. Again, I feel like just maybe you were in the picture before he got divorced with the wife. And I don't know if he has actually completely divorced with the wife or they are just temporarily separated. And I will say this advice to everyone who is watching. Please, never marry a divorcee that has not officially gone through the process of divorce. The possibilities of them always reconciling is very high. Even after divorcing, the possibilities of husband and wife reconciling is still very high, of course. So he likes dismissing my feelings instead of correcting his actions. Okay. I want him to lead so I can reciprocate. Now, this looks like this woman, this lady, you don't know your role in a relationship. You are not to reciprocate the leading. He has to lead, you have to follow. God created marriage in a way that the man leads, the woman submits to the man. And I have an issue with the last paragraph. I want to sit down with him and engage, but it's difficult. We end up fighting, okay? When I'm having insecurities, okay, get that. When I'm having insecurities, instead of replying to the insecurities, he shifts the blame. Now you see that this lady is still not even sure of herself. She feels like this guy still values Of course, she has mentioned it, values the wife and the kids more than he does to her. And she actually have insecurities. Now, let me tell you the truth. Most often, when you come in the picture before the other one officially leaves, it just looks like another person may be in the picture when you are also there officially in the house. I mean, there was an official woman in the house, you were outside. So when you're inside, you have the same fears, you see. So if you have insecurities, it's not about him shifting the blame. You have to work on your insecurities. If you have to build a relationship with someone who have divorced and have kids, you need to be confident in yourself. You need to be sure he is what you want, and you concentrate on your own life with him, keeping aside the life of his ex-wife. If you have to constantly bring up the ex-wife, like I said, you're not doing any good. So you have insecurities, you need to work on it. And she says, I love him, but I'm so exhausted. Yeah, you should. There are a lot of things here in the picture that you should be exhausted. So my final advice would be, if at all you are both married, you should go for counseling. If you're preparing to get married, you should go for counseling. A counselor will help you to learn how to communicate, because you have communication issues, you have trust issues, you have insecurities is something you need to personally need to work on. Okay, you need to know the boundaries of things you shouldn't bring in the picture, like his ex-wife. Maybe you comparing yourself with her, because if you have to do that, if and then he takes the side of the ex-wife, you feel really hurt. So you don't have to do that. Okay, so this couple, I just want to believe that they have a lot of work. If at all they want to make it together, they should see a counselor that will help to guide them on how to communicate, on how to love each other, help them with their expectations, because there are expectations here that are not clearly communicated and are not being met, needs are not being met, which is bringing disappointment, and that making her feel exhausted. So I think that's just that. So my final call again to everyone who is watching us, please, just before you get into a relationship with someone who is divorced, be patient enough for them to officially go through the divorce. When you get into the picture, concentrate on your life with him. Forget about his life with his ex-wife. Don't always bring the ex-wife into your own marriage. This is your marriage now. It's not about her. Accept that he was married before, he has kids, and once in a while, this is like a blended family. He will always bring in issues, sometimes concerning his children or the other wife. You have to live with it. It's a blended family. You have stepkids, of course. You want to love them, and you want to make sure they have a space in your home. You have to accept him for who he is. He's been married, he is divorced, he has kids, and you are coming in as a second wife, knowing that there was a first wife. You are minding your business. You are opening the doors for the kids, but not the other woman. You are concentrating on on your marriage with him. You're just minding your business. If not, you will have the insecurities like this lady complained. I'm sure you learned something from that. Thank you so much. Have you subscribed? Oh, please don't go without subscribing. Like and share equally. Thank you so much.